Morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing? This is Carl Blackstone at the Chamber. Glad y'all could join us today for the second edition of Coffee with Carl. Can everybody see? Everybody hear? We're good, Anna?
Yes.
Yes, very well.
Carl, I haven't shaved, so I'm not going on video, man. I look rough.
Come on, Mr. Wheeler. I didn't either. That's what these days are for. Well, listen, just wanted to start this off and first of all, if there are questions for me, feel free to send them through to info@columbiachamber.com. That's info@columbiachamber.com. Or I'm trying to find the chat screen in here, but if you can find the chat screen, send one in that way. But anyway, really excited that to have this opportunity to chat. What a week. I mean, goodness gracious, when you think that things can't get crazier, they get crazier. So I think today's a big day, obviously, because the Small Business Administration is going to start accepting applications for businesses that need some relief, whether through the Payroll Protection Act or what have you. And unfortunately, all the guidance was the last guidance was issued last night late. So a lot of banks are not going to be up and running today. They'll be willing to accept those applications today, but I don't think they're going to get a lot of processing done, quite frankly, just because of the lateness. And so I do want to give a shout out. Thanks, Will Johnson at Haynesworth Sinker Boyd, for shooting me the updated talking points late last night. But anyway, the guidance was helpful from the SBA towards the financial institutions. But again, it's going to just take a couple of days to get this worked out. At least it happened on Friday, so we had the weekend to for the financial institutions to make sure they have it 100% correct. So anyway, that's very much needed. A lot of business owners that I talked to this week are, they had some reserves in the bank, but they're pushing against it. So they really could use that help from the SBA. So we'll keep everybody apprised of that. We'll share those new talking points as well on our website at columbiachamber.com this morning. And anyway, let's see if there's any other questions. Let me think of what else is going on. Big news as well. The U.S. House of Representatives has put together a task force of members of the House to deal with the coronavirus, and excited that our own Jim Clyburn is going to be chairing that committee for Speaker Pelosi. That's a huge opportunity for Representative Clyburn, and we all know him well, obviously, but he is going to be at the epicenter of this this fallout, this dealing with this virus. So for those that have good relationships with him, now's a good chance to reach out and touch him. And but also, if you've got concerns that you have as a business owner, you please let him know what you're hearing, what you're seeing from the inside perspective, because I think that's going to be a big help as they look in the coming months to do a round 4 of a stimulus package. So also want to give a shout out to, I know Stephanie's on with Blue Cross, but Blue Cross has done a great job. Yesterday, they sent notices out that they're no out-of-pocket costs for COVID-19 associated issues. So thank you, Blue Cross, for that. That's a huge burden for a lot of people. So good things happening in this community. I guess it was last week we talked to Luke Kennedy at Nephron, and Nephron is really they're hiring and trying to do as much as they can to help with national supplies of both hand sanitizer, and they're making some other things, some of the drugs too. So that's really good things. there at Nephron. Also, there's a distribution center here locally for Home Depot, and they are hiring. So if you know people that need jobs, there are people looking for employees. I know Kroger is, and Publix. So there's a list of those on our website. So please keep checking. If you've been before and it looks similar, hit a refresh button, let it or clear your cache. But we keep that thing updated all the time. So if you keep checking, but really, if you know people that need jobs, there are places on there for job listings. Let's see. Let me go down some of these questions right quick, if you don't mind. Let's see. Eleanor with Midlands Fatherhood Coalition. Good morning. Just a nonprofit trying to figure out the current and post COVID-19 economy. Well, that's a $64,000 loaded question right there. You know, that's the most intriguing thing about this whole thing is, what does the new economy look like? What does the new norms look like? Are we going to be living on Zoom after next month? It's so convenient. I get it. You know, I think Columbia is in a unique spot right now. We kind of missed the last economic wave that hit a lot of areas in the Southeast. And we've gotten somewhat complacent, quite frankly, if I can be direct. I mean, we've got a wonderful insurance technology marketplace. We've got a great government between the university and state government and the federal government. You know, there are plenty of positives that have gone on in Columbia, but what we've not done is really diversify our economy. And so I think this opportunity that presents itself is, what's the old saying, never let a crisis go to waste. In this particular case, I really think that we've got to really think strategically on how we diversify the economy of the Midlands of South Carolina. It can't be we can't put all our eggs in one basket. And in this particular case, obviously, every single industry is taking a hit of some sort. But we've got to go to really create more opportunities. And one particular what we've got to do is really expand the med school, build that downtown, because as much this last 4 or 5 weeks have proved that we've got to invest heavily in healthcare and research. And I think we have that opportunity. We got a med school. It's the most underutilized asset in Columbia right now, I think, in my opinion, because we just have not capitalized on a great market. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox here. All right, Jeff, I'm gonna let you resend that question. I didn't get it. I apologize. And Eleanor, I hope I didn't get too much off of soapbox, but I really think that, while I'm waiting on Jeff's question, but let me follow up on the next economy. It also gives everybody in this call, everybody in leadership, an opportunity to reset what you're doing and making sure there's value. I've got to do that, and our chamber team has got to do that as we look to how we best serve you. But I think our city needs to do it. Our county needs to do it. But the nonprofit sector has to do it. We have so many competing nonprofits in this community, and they all serve a great purpose of some sort. But how do we utilize resources better? How do we align missions and create better outcomes with accountability? And those are big issues I think we're going to have to deal with as we move. And I think we start that process now. While we have the time, while we're thinking about it, we need to be proactive. So Ron said the same thing. Start recovery planning during the crisis. Absolutely. We're in the thick of it now. We can't change what's going on, so let's change going forward. And putting your mind to use now would be very, very helpful. Jamie, let's see. Zoom is great during this time, but I know I miss the in-person social interaction. Does the chamber plan to go back to normal and have in-person meetings after we get the green light? And absolutely. I mean, if we know anything about South Carolina is uniquely different than most other states. It's all about relationships, and we have got to really capitalize on that. We'll do a lot more in-person stuff, but you never know. We maybe the partners tell us what we should be doing. So if the partners think we should do more personal stuff, absolutely. We may, for convenience sake, do some of these meetings. I think we'll have to do a combination, quite frankly. So thanks for that, Jamie. Mr. Wheeler, small businesses such as my wife will not benefit from current SBA loan programs since payroll is so low. She has 2 full-time and 3 part-time employees, yet Easter Spring is 30% of her revenue. She does $300,000 a year, so $100,000 loss is not recoverable without help. Absolutely. What programs can be created to help businesses like hers? She's in the clothing boutique. Great question. I think these are the type of businesses that the city has put together some help with. I mean, it's $5,000 to $10,000 grants, some forgivable grants, which are very much needed. You've got beauty salons and folks that rent booths at different hairdressing places they're basically independent contractors. And they don't get any relief either. So there is a huge market. The other thing is if you've been hired for less than a year, you don't qualify for some of the care stuff. So a lot of these uh-ohs are coming out right now as we peel the onion back a little bit. So I do think the next phase 4 of the recovery plan out of Congress has got to be a cleanup bill. The problem is, can businesses hold on that long? And that's a legit question. So there are a lot of communities that are building some funds together. I know the United Way has built a good fund here for COVID-19, but it's used for families to get basic needs. The city has done such. I think the state will get into this as well, but it's only coming back next week to meet for an hour or so, and then they're adjourning. So the relief won't come from the state anytime soon. But these are type of issues I think, Jeff, we as a business community have got to think through quickly. And so I've been talking to the mayor about getting together some task force for small business as well as nonprofits. Industry specific, quite frankly, I think would be helpful to figure out what are the needs of specific industries. Obviously, small businesses have been hit worse. It's really, really sad. Restaurants as well. So I've got a call with the mayor later on today and some members of council and Richland County Council as well. So let me table that question, Mr. Wheeler, and I'll get back with you. Okay. So Jeff Creech, Ted Creech, combining Wheeler and Creech. Sorry about that, Mr. Creech. What are we hearing on the public policy front? State legislature coming back next week. They're going to have an amendment put in place that just keeps government funded at the current levels, which is good and bad. There are a lot of needs, and there's a significant surplus this year that was going out to a lot of communities around this state. I think with this latest 3 weeks, that'll probably evaporate any of the surplus that was there last year. So going forward, what happens when you had a $2 billion surplus or whatever it was, and you're trying to budget for next year? That's going to be very, very challenging. And so, and we'll have to see with the number of the amount of payrolls that have been cut, number of folks filing for unemployment is just unbelievable. A record amount in one week. So I think that's going to have a significant impact on local budgets, state budgets. And you know what? It is going to be painful, but there's always a silver lining. And I think on the local level, it really does help us prioritize what we need to fund. Hospitality taxes are non-existent right now. And so those fund a lot of things on this in the city of Columbia. And I think we're going to have to really prioritize those spending. So thanks for that, Mr. Creech. I hope I answered your question. Sarah, the South Carolina Business Development Centers can help assist. Yes, you can. Thank you. Y'all cover all 46 counties and it's free. Great. You can sign up at scsbdc.com. Sarah, that is a mouthful. I'm going to have to be honest with you. scsbdc.com. I was on your website this week. A lot of good information there. So thank you and your team for helping. So for those that are trying to fill out these SBA loans, just word for the wise, pack some patience when you get your pen and paper out. There are a lot of questions. And if you need help, call the SBDC. But anyway, the chamber can also put you in touch with folks that can help as well. The Richland County Library's got a team of folks ready to answer your questions if you're trying to fill those out. You do not have to go through a financial institution to do those loans. However, you can. If you have a relationship with a banker, you can call them and they can help as well. All right, Jarrett. Hey, sorry, it was nice. Taylor Wilkes from Experience Columbia. Shout out. Jarrett Dowling's here too. Thank you. We're going to need a big Columbia family happy hour once this is over. Absolutely. We may need a Zoom happy hour at some point just to get us through. So these are challenging times. I don't think people realize the stress and the energy it takes to worry about a lot of this stuff. So for those that have been impacted, we're thinking about you. So Elizabeth, you went through the SBDC. Thank you for that. She says it's easy and staff was great. So perfect. Everybody needs a little help these days, and thanks to those that are doing it. Let's see if I've missed anything. All right. Any other topics that y'all need to hit real quickly? I don't want to belabor this, but there is a lot of activity going on. There's a call this afternoon, by the way, with Senator Tim Scott. That's at 1 o'clock, and you can find some details at our website or the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce's website. So if y'all want to hear and listen to Senator Scott talk about this last week and basically the recovery efforts, I was on a call with him. Maybe it was earlier this week, last Friday. Days are running together, but very, very informative. Senator Scott was on the task force to deal with small business recovery. So Jeff, really shout out to you on that one. If Tim has a lot of good insights on what can happen, and I would encourage all of us to reach out to our members of Congress on that. Oh, sorry, the call with Senator Scott is at 10 a.m. today. Sorry, not 1. It's at 10 a.m. with the state chamber. And the call information can be on our website or the state chamber's website. Okay. Martha, I shared Jeff Wheeler's concern. I've been thinking about you, and Martha and I talked weeks ago, right when this started to unravel. And small businesses are put in such challenging situations. You want to take care of your staff. You want to take care of your business. You also need to take care of yourself. So it tugs at all the. It's not a fair decision to have to make on any of those things. So we're with you on that. So listen, the chamber's here to help. If you need information, let us know. info@columbiachamber.com is a great place, and we've got folks that all through the chamber. They're willing to lift out a hand and to help you along. We've got resources on our website at columbiachamber.com. And we're going to have some meetings next week, Tuesday and Thursday at 11 o'clock. We're going to have Elliot Davis with us on Tuesday morning at 11 to talk about the recovery bills and what it means financially to your business and how you can get some of the assistance. And they have folks from their Greenville office and Charleston office and Columbia office will be on the call to help small businesses that have questions about any of those bills, but also any specific questions you may have. And on Thursday, we've got folks from Chernoff Newman to talk about marketing right now and how this impacts your business. So tune in at 11 o'clock for a Zoom call, and we'll keep on the Zooms for a little while, but I do want to provide some good information with you while we're going through this stuff. Also, if you want to look at our webpage, we do have some hot deals on our webpage right now that companies are posting specials that they're running or opportunities that they may have in their specific company, but also they're also listing of folks looking for employees. So if you know them. Anyway, thank you all very much for tuning in today for Coffee with Carl. Cheesy name, but it's stuck right now. Really appreciate your time. And if there's things that we can do, feel free to reach out to me, cblackstone@columbiachamber.com. Or if you have questions, send it to the whole team, info@columbiachamber.com. Listen, y'all have a great day. Y'all are in my prayers. We look forward to catching up real soon. Thanks a bunch.